Hello, my name is Tubalaba.
And my name is Trachi.
Welcome to Maka, where we discuss architecture and life.
Today we'll be talking about biomimicry. So, care to elaborate? What's biomimicry?
Oh yeah, this is like not really a favorite of mine, but yes, it's something I've really done in school in my last book.
So very passionate about.
Yeah, so in very layman's terms, biomimicry is just trying to copy nature or mimic nature, because we as architects are very eclectic. So I guess it's the whole being eclectic,
taking inspiration where it comes from.
Yes, not just where it comes from nature. Okay. So from nature in terms of the patterns, textures, shapes, but most especially the functions and the processes.
Okay.
That is very key to note that, because there are other terms that just take up the patterns and the shapes and the textures.
Okay, so biomimicry encompasses.
Yes, it encompasses everything. How an insect moves from point A to point B with such heavy load on its head,
and how you can use that
that same system to so it's the functionality of that.
So we want to talk about like examples.
Yes.
Things that we've seen. Or maybe first of all, why is it something that we should even consider in the first place? Because I mean, you can copy whatever you like. I like the way the camera looks. Like,
yeah, so I just
can do my next building that the door zooms out and zooms in.
Yeah. But really, biomimicry is really about seeing something that works.
Okay.
Like, we've known the system, especially the ecosystem, it works perfectly. There's a process of, should we go into detail so much? But anyway, there's a process of how the system works, of the plants, then the next animal. It's like the food chain, the process of the food chain, and that is a very perfect example of the way the ecosystem works.
Yeah.
So we have the decomposers, the primary
feeders,
the secondary feeders, and then the tertiary feeders. So there's nothing wastes. But we find out that as human beings, when we are doing anything, we find a lot of waste material, find a lot of biohazards that
things
cannot
that don't degrade, things that infect other things. Yeah, it's true. So
basically the point is, how do these plants or how do these animals live in such harmonious system that nothing wastes? And even if some of them are carnivorous, some of them are herbivorous, they all feed on each other one way or the other. Nothing wastes and nothing stays the same.
How they say in Lion King, the circle of life.
Exactly. So it's just a moving circle that it just keeps going and going and nothing stops.
Nothing stops.
If one animal falls out of the food chain, another will replace it some way, and that animal that falls out of the food chain decomposes and it turns to manure or fertilizer. So that's just
plants,
exactly. So that's just the reason for biomimicry. How did the natural system work, and how can we adapt it in our own artificial technology?
Okay. So examples, I have a list here that I wrote. Okay, I think the one I really like is this Velcro one.
Okay.
That the inventor of Velcro went out, I think, on a field one day and realized that these burrs from plants were sticking to his trousers, and then he put it under a microscope. It's like, why are they even sticking to chicken? So I took it on a microscope and realized they had this simple hook and eye system for latching onto things and moving around. And he took a while and a few iterations, but eventually developed a system for the Velcro locks on shoes and other things, where that simple hook and eye just stays there, but you can just pull them up. But while they're there. Yeah. So I think for me that's like a big favorite.
Yes. Well, another example I like is the lotus plant, and the adaptation is the self-cleaning paint or self-cleaning textile, self-cleaning so many things. They're trying to adapt the system. The way the lotus plant works is it's a water plant, so basically there's a lot of mud around it, and mud sticks to it, dead particles sticks to it. But the way it works is, when water now falls on it, it's the water dead particles
Okay.
on the lotus plant. So if anything, if like maybe breeze should just come and just blow the thing, it will blow it away, the dead particles with the water. So these dead particles do not stick
to the plant.
Usually when rain falls like that on your window, it just falls and then the dead just slides down, just stays there.
Okay.
But for the lotus plant, the dead particles actually, because it just rolls into droplets of water.
Okay, because
yes.
Okay, so it's probably hydrophobic.
Yes, it is hydrophobic actually. It's super, not even just hydrophobic, because a lot of plants are hydrophobic actually, but it is super hydrophobic. It has its own special, different
system for
repelling water. So
wow.
that's what they're trying to adapt for the self-cleaning paint, where one rain falls, it just cleans it out and you don't need to maybe wipe off. Yeah, I want to talk about the major example, which is the permaculture. Basically, permaculture is a self-maintaining agricultural system that basically mimics the natural ecosystem, which, like we talked about earlier, is the food chain, where the basic point is nothing goes to waste, and the system is on its own. Like when you have a garden, it maintains itself, it self-maintains that even if you're not there, it still works the way it should.
Okay, so basically, like, because nature doesn't always need human beings' help.
Yes.
Like the forest can survive by itself.
Exactly. That is even just the exact thing, like patterning the way the forest works, because nobody monitors the forest. Nobody goes to the forest to find out if lions have eaten. Lions definitely find a gazelle to be exactly. Actually, there's a lot of principles involved in the permaculture system, but it's basically patterns. It's along according to the natural ecosystem. So even the natural ecosystem is survival of the fittest.
Okay.
So any plant that does not survive during the rainy season and after the rainy season, it dies. Some plants even die during the dry season. And then when the moment water touches them, they sprout back up again.
Okay.
Like the roots is still alive.
Still alive.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's how it works. But because a lot of vegetables are seasonal, a lot of plants are seasonal. Because sometimes I'm not at home in my garden. I go away for like 2-3 weeks, and I come home. Like I was home yesterday, and some of my plants are already dying. That's very true. Some of them are already dying, but I just poured water on them, and hopefully yes, because that happened before.
Oh, okay.
That happened before. Like I was like, oh man, this thing has already died. Hey, what am I going to do? And I just like, let me just try it, and I just poured water on it, and within a couple of days, I found new leaves coming out. So that's just the way it works. It's a very, very fit plant, obviously. So it means.
So it's basically it's geared more towards plants.
Well, permaculture covers a lot of things actually, but I'm just talking about the gardening aspect
of it,
where you have a small garden at the back of your house, so you don't always have to monitor it. It's supposed to be self-sustaining. So basically, what happens is maybe rain falls. So the point is you have to only plant plants that
would survive those conditions.
Yes, such conditions in your climate, in your particular climate. So you have to do the research. So, and if it dies, it decomposes, so nothing goes to waste, and it's just a survival of the fittest. I know we all remember our biology class, food chain,
so basically
food web, food chain.
Once again, it's basically cycle of life with that little interference as possible.
Yes. In some, I think there's some people that they don't even interfere in any way. They just have a garden and they just plant. So some people, I think there's some plants that they don't die. We call it hibernation.
Okay.
So they just hibernate
for a few months
during maybe winter or the hot season, whatever. Then when the rain comes again,
they come back up.
Oh,
that's really nice.
So that's a very, very good example.
It's a good example.
Mimicking the process.
Yeah.
I think that is because it's very, like I said earlier, the biomimicry system is very particular about it has to be the process of the functionality of the system, of a natural system. So yes, it's mimicking the process of.
So that's I really think this is good stuff. things that we need to consider biomimicry, and it can be like we've gone from gardening to electronics. It can really be anything.
Very diverse.
Yeah. So I mean, if you don't have inspiration, it's not just artists and writers that look for inspiration. Nature has abundant
In fact,
inspiration
nature
for.
is even the is the ultimate
Inspire.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Anyway, so thank you for watching. Please follow us on Twitter at the.manka.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.